Looks like we're progressing closer to getting some grills put up. It's a bit more overcast today, so it's not quite so stinking hot first thing in the morning. I may be able to get a bit of stuff done over in the shed here before I start to melt down. It's, on cloudless days, that lasts about 5 minutes. And this thing's definitely more trouble than it's worth. Hadn't been able to get it to start lately, and thought, I'll have another try, and turned off the isolator switch for the battery. Tried to use the keys ignition, nothing, absolutely nothing. And I know that's not a battery problem because the battery's fully charged. I've had it on the charger, so it was down to being the key switch or the isolator switches buggered up. So I thought, how do I test that? And eventually I realised that the isolator switch, that isolates the the negative post of the battery from the chassis of the machine. So I thought, okay, well, I'll put a multimeter on there and check the resistance between the negative post and the chassis, and the isolator switch is working, because if I put that into the run position, there is zero resistance between the negative post and the chassis. In the isolated position like that, it's open circuit. So there's your problem. So need to get the Indotara technicians out here with a new key switch and new wiper arms, and possibly a new wiper motor as well, because I'm sure the water's penetrated through to that. So more dollars. I think get the thing in good nick, or as good as we can get it, and then see if we can find a buyer for it. It's just not earning its keep. It may sit here forever as a white elephant, although I'd prefer to have it sit outside or somewhere else in here so that it's not in the way of the service bit. That way we can use that for other things. But yeah, good idea while it lasted. Thought it was going to be a good toy. Nah, not so much. Watching these guys on my cameras in the lounge room. Looks like we're going to do some installation. Look to be making headway on the vertical post. Made quite a bit of headway on this. So now putting up the grills at the back there. Looking good, that's what we ordered. And now there's a filler strip at the back of the I-beam to prevent people climbing through that gap when the sliding door is closed. That's good. And they're working on putting the grills in the bore tank room. This is preparation for a big cook-up day tomorrow, commemorating Jabita's mother's passing. These guys are fitting this interesting ornate grill. I'm not quite sure it is that degree of security for a water tank. Buying that little spray gun for my little air compressor seems to be one of the more useful things I've done. So those are all grills for the tank room. Actually, now that I look at it, they're not all for the tank room. Some of those are for the back patio of Lizu's house as well. All the metalwork around the back patio and tank room here got completed yesterday, along with the scooter cage. So now I've got him on the next job, which is my back door, where I want to put on one of my fingerprint sensor locks. So that's all good now, and in use. So now the back door of the shed is being prepared for installation of a nice door handle like the one in the lounge room. I bought one of those and had Brian bring it up. But yeah, they're good because you can have it so that the handle operates from both sides, The handle on the outside is locked until you use the handle on the inside, in which case it unlocks the one on the outside. Or in the third position, you use the handle on the inside freely, but the outside's always locked, and that's the one we'd use for this particular application, because it's the door strike that actually unlocks when you use the keypad fingerprint pad from the outside. I've been looking at the wiring diagrams for the control box and the fingerprint sensor, and it's really quite simple. I connect power to the control box, and then on the fingerprint sensor I only need to use 3 wires. I have common and plus 12 volts going to the fingerprint sensor, and a line coming back that connects into the push socket. And what that will do is that will tell the control box to operate the control lines here. So there'll be 5 wires into that control block there. There'll be common and normally open connections for the strike, and there'll be ground and 12 volts for the fingerprint sensor and push for the fingerprint sensor. And if I really get carried away, what I'll do is I'll include an exit button, but don't really need one. I've got a box I could put it on. It's a matter of what the hole is like when I drill the hole from the outside where the fingerprint sensor is going to be through to the inside. It could well sort of shell off a whole lot of the concrete on the inside of the wall, so a nice little junction box to cover that would be nice. And then on the face of that I could put the exit button if I wanted to. And that's just a matter of connecting the common and push via the switch. So easy, really. This is the stuff that when we were setting it up for the lounge room, the people we had working here at the time said, "Oh, we could do that, we could do that. We'll take it away and have a look at it." And they took it away, and they took it to people in Serang to have a look at. Then they brought it back saying, "Oh, we can't figure it out." Yeah. I'll show you the wiring diagram I did for that, which is possibly the most convoluted one. I connected it up with that one up with all the bells and whistles, so it has an exit button even though it doesn't need one. I also included the little wireless receiver for the fobs, so that you can use a fob to press a button and open the door too. They had all those bits, so I included them all. But with the door handle I use, it's the same one as I got here, so really all I need is the sensor, the strike and the control box. I don't need anything else. So this one will be the simplest of them lot. On the sliding door at the back airlock at the house there, I do need the exit button to release the magnets. But yeah, all good. This one at the back sliding door is pretty straightforward. Just have the control box with, yeah, 1, 2, yeah, so 3 wires from the fingerprint box on the other side, which come through behind this because this covers the hole that blew out this side of the concrete. And just press that and it releases the magnets on there and one there. Wires running across. Those magnets are supposedly good for 180 kilograms each, so it's going to be a fairly strong person to open that door. Okay, this is the diagram I created for wiring the lounge room, which is needlessly complicated because of the a little wireless receiver thing in the middle, and I didn't really need to have that switch there. But looking at this and my wiring for the airlock door, I'm thinking that I've got one of my wires wrong for my plan over the shed. I was looking to use the yellow from the fingerprint reader to go to the push input on the control unit, and no, I have to use the blue line, not the yellow line. And if you want to use the exit, you connect the ground wire through the exit switch to the yellow wire for the fingerprint reader. So yeah, that's okay. Just one more wire from the fingerprint reader than I was allowing for. Having looked at my diagrams, I shall now modify what I did this morning, and I will tie the purple and black together and attach a blue lead. And coming along nicely, he's got the door handle nicely mounted. Now he's cutting the hole for the strike. Well, the metalwork part is all completed now. The handle operates properly, door closes and latches on the auto closer, so it's up to me now to do the wiring part. I've got two cables that come from the switch here, they can wire up there easily enough, and 4 cables of interest that come from the front side here. So I've just got to figure out what I'm going to do there. So it's highly likely that I'll put a junction box of some kind on there. Can't quite make it stretch all the way, but yeah, so it's down to me now. And I've got the wire running up there through some conduit that I'm going to have to stick now with some silicone, because the stick on the back's already worn out on that one. And I'll put it into that conduit that the earth lead runs across and come down into the switchboard. And I'll use this unused breaker here. So yeah, all going okay. That'll be for tomorrow, because I'm about bushed, hot and sweaty. So to be continued. Started the day in the shed by making a mini extension cord. That's power cord off one of the scrapped battery chargers with one of those line sockets recycled. So now we can get the air compressor going without having to dig out a power board and extension cables and what have you. It's got its own. Well, I've got the first bit done. I've got the conduit there that was non-stick stuck again with some silicone, and that one that had come undone, non-sticky, that's stuck with silicone, and the power wires for the control box run through that down to there, into the switchboard. Everything's buttoned back up again, but if I turn on this switch here, I have power to the control unit. So turn it off again. There's enough capacitance in there that it takes a while for it to go out, and we go dim 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 dim, gone. That's it. So on to the next bit, but I'm overheating, so I'll pack up and come back to that later. So this is a leftover, or sheet of leftover 3mm steel plate. I see a use for a little bit of that. I think what I need to do is cut that there. It's already sort of joined there, and weld on a piece that actually goes out and covers that when it's closed. But that'll all come later. When I've got this thing implemented, then what we can do is use the angle guide to remove this one entirely. Won't need that one on there anymore. Almost there. I just got to get all the right wires into the right sockets now. Alright, screw terminals. Well, I got barely started on doing the bits of conduit when I hit overheat, so I'll come back and do that another day. Well, it's the next morning. Order of operations is get some conduit on those 2 wires coming from the door strike up to the little junction box. That'll allow me to see how much of the extra wire I can cut off that's hanging down the left there. And those 2 wires going to the first and third terminals on the terminal block, counting from the left. Then yellow wire that's hanging down the centre there, that connects to one side of the press button on the left hand side of the box. The blue wire sticking at the top, that goes to the push socket on the terminal block, which is the third from the right. This black wire which comes through, it's a bit short, but that's going to be handy because I need to do a join anyway, because I need that one to go to the ground socket here and also to the other side of this switch. So what I will do is I will get a joiner and use some of the excess black wire here and make that Y off so that one side goes to here, one side goes to there, and the red goes into the plus 12 volt. So I'll start with resuming on the conduit work. That's about as good as the conduit's going to get. I just got to hit it with some silicone to hold it in place. But I'll wait on that until I figure out what I'm going to do between the lower box and the control box at the top. Be nice to have something there to cover the wiring. Well, it's all wired up now apart from the push button switch, which is going to be challenging because I have to do the wires around these little screws in here, which are not easy to get at. But it's the only way I could do that. I've powered it up and tested it, and touching these 2 together unlocks it. And I've added my fingerprints on the outside and used one of those to unlock it, so she's a goer. I just got to finish those last 2 connections and come up with a suitable cover for this, which I think I've figured out. So yeah, going well. Well, that's completed before I hit meltdown. So yep, all siliconed. This bit here, I don't have any cap for that particular conduit anymore. Otherwise I would have had that at the back and cap on top, but yeah, it'll do. Protects the wires. So, to illustrate the case of this thing, if I go, okay, unlocked, and we wait, okay, locked again, yep, unlocked, and if I empty my left hand so I can reach around the corner, hang on, I just got to stick a whole lot of stuff in my pocket. Okay, so if I reach around here to the push button switch, press that, you see that's also turned it green and unlocked. Job's right. So now what I got to do is lock it up using the usual lock, and when all and sundry are available, I'll add their fingerprints to it, which is easier than the other ones because this actually has a card reader as well, and there's an add user card. And what you do is you tap that card on it and you keep adding your fingerprints. So you do each one twice, and when you finish adding them, tap the card on again, done. So I've got about 7 figures added. So yeah, good for now. That second breaker from the right used to be a dedicated breaker for hardwired fans, but as it turned out we just have the fans plugged into power points, so it wasn't used, so I could press that into service for the door controller. But I peeled the fans label off, and now it's time to start labelling things. That's more like it. And the exit button is labelled, pointing out where it is. Yeah, may not be obvious, it's hidden over the back over there, but that's okay. Doesn't have to be used anyway, because you can just turn the handle and exit. But it's there. Righto. The only thing to do now is get the steel guy back sometime after I've added people's fingerprints. Thought I'd come down to the rice factory for once to see how many things had migrated down here that should actually be in the machinery shed. But it's not in operation today, so it's locked up. I can't see what's in there. But it's a good day for rice drying. It's actually a bit of a concern, I think, because it's been a bit dry, so their rice nursery over there might be struggling a bit. I don't know if they carry water over that to irrigate it or not. Well, it's Friday morning, and Daddo's just been here for me to add his fingerprints into the block, so we're now at the stage where we can get the metalwork guy back to remove that sliding bolt and weld a plate over that outside, or weld on a plate to cover that outside part of the lock when the door's closed.